Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Merchandising with Rana. Who are from merchandising, textile or fashion background and want to come to merchandising sector. This video is necessary for you because LC and the different types of payment is regular day-to-day work for you. So let's look on to this agenda. Today I'm gonna discuss about payment methods for export and import business and what is LC and why it is used, types of LC and short note on this, LC transaction procedure with schematic diagram, payment methods for export and import business. First, open account, then cash in advance, documentary collections, letter of credit or documentary credit, consignment. So let's see this diagram to see the risk factor for exporter and importer. You can see from left to right, it is less secure to more secure, and above exporter and below importer. If I say for consignment is less secure for exporter and cash in advance is most secure for exporter. So you can see this diagram by yourself, but I will discuss in details in other slide. So, open account. What is open account? In this method, the goods are shipped and delivered before payment, and the payment is clear usually within 30, 60, 90 days as agreed in sales contract. There are two parties, exporter or seller, and importer and or buyer. So first there is a sales contract signed by both party. Then exporter ship the goods to importer port without any payment. And also exporter send the documents to importer to release the goods. After receiving the goods or releasing the goods, importer send the payment to exporter. So here goods received without payment, so it is risky for exporter and no risk for importer in this method, but exporter must trust and know importer very well. Let me give you an example. Who are foreign investor or foreign ownership factory in Bangladesh in EPZ? They are using this open account term or open account method because Bangladesh government is not allowing them to open LC, cash in advance. It is totally opposite to the open account. So exporter are paid before goods are shipped and ownership is transferred. Payments are made by wire transfer like telegraphic transfer or TT or credit card in case of a small amount. Same, there is a two parties, sales contract confirmed, exporter send pro forma invoice to importer and importer send the payment against this pro forma invoice, and then goods sent to importer port with the documents to importer. So getting these documents, importer can release the goods from their port. Here, payment received without receiving goods. So it is risky for importer, but there is no risk for exporter. And exporter must trust the importer in this case. And it is normally used for the supplier who are actually working with ultimate buyer like MNS, H&M, etc. And they have some nominated Chinese supplier raw material source. So Bangladeshi factory working with them with this cash in advance payment method. Documentary collection. See, earlier two slide, I said the term trust. If there is no any trust and the both party are new to them, so there is a third party came in the discussion, that is bank. So bank. So what is the definition? In this method, exporter entrusts the collection of payment for a sale to its bank or remitting bank, which send the documents that its buyer needs to importer bank or collecting bank with some instructions to release the documents to buyer after clearing payment or accepting bill of exchange. Documentary collection are carried out in two different ways: documents against payment or documents against acceptance. So documents against payment, in this method documents are released to importer only against the payment by collecting bank. There are four parties. Let me describe these things. So from left and top corner, principal, exporter, or seller. Okay, seller means who is selling the goods, and they are called as principal. And below, remitting bank is working for seller. Right hand side, the drawee, importer or buyer. And collecting bank and presenting bank work for importer. So there is a sales contract signed by both party, and that is the side payment. Then seller send the goods to importer port and documents sent to remitting bank. Please notice here two extra documents are there. Bill of exchange and collecting instruction, because bill of lading, invoice and packing list are required for advance payment and open account also. But bill of exchange and collection instruction is new for this method. So remitting bank check these documents and send to collecting bank or presenting bank with their cover letter. Collecting bank asks importer or buyer to pay to collect these documents, and then the collecting bank release the documents after getting the payment. And in the meantime, collecting bank send this payment to remitting bank, keeping their charges. In same way, remitting bank send this payment to exporter, keeping their charges. So, but there is no guarantee, or there is no guarantee for payment, and there is a cancellation risk. If goods arrived in port, but importer now is saying that I don't need this consignment because I don't have any demand, so it is very risky. So if this case happens, so buyer is cannot pay, so seller then required to pay the return shipment, and this DC are less expensive than LC. Importer needs to pay to bank before releasing goods. Okay, and documents against acceptance. It is in this method documents are released to importer only against acceptance of bill of exchange or draft, promising to pay a later delivery. Okay, same thing. Sales contract signed, goods sent, documents sent to remitting bank, documents sent to collecting bank. Here you can see first importer or buyer has to sign one bill of exchange promising that he or she will pay at later delivery, a later date, which is called maturity date. Then collecting bank release the documents to buyer to release goods from port. After that, on maturity date, importer pay to bank, and collecting bank send the payment to remitting bank. Remitting bank send the payment to seller. So the same description here, only without payment bank needs to release the documents. It is the difference between documents against acceptance and documents against payment. Okay, consignment. So I was supposed to tell now the letter of credit, but I will discuss the letter of credit in a different video because video is going very long. Okay, consignment. What is consignment? Consignment is similar to open account, in which the payment is sent to exporter only after the goods have been sold by foreign distributor to end customer. Let me tell you again, payment is done after selling the goods to ultimate consumer. It is very risky as exporter is not guaranteed any payment. It helps exporter become more competitive on basis of better availability and faster delivery of goods. Also help exporter reduce the direct cost of storing and managing inventory. The exporter retain ownership of goods until they are sold. Insurance should be in place to cover consigned goods in transit or in possession of foreign distributor, as well as to mitigate the risk of non-payment. Okay, hope this video is beneficial for you. Welcome to you for my next video where I will discuss about the letter of credit or documentary credit.